it's going to be tough for Miami to actually stop them.
It's hard to get them going because of the people who are defending them. If Mike Bibby is guarding Derrick Rose, then that means Dang's being guarded by Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, mostly Dwayne Wade, because they're both the guards and whatnot. And the other players are LeBron James, Joel Anthony, Udonis Haslem, who's now in there. It's going to Chris Bosh in there. These guys know how to play defense, and I'm telling you, if Derrick Rose does not get off early and penetrate, get some guys open, put some pressure on that defense, get some fouls, and get off early, they're going to have the same problem because I'm telling you, 75 points at home with your crowd there pumping you up, and you only score 75 points after you demolish the team, that spells trouble for me. I just if I was a coach for Chicago, I would be kind of afraid. And you saw his face in the interview.
Of course, I did see.
You saw the way he was looking. It didn't look too confident to me.
Now, understand this. One thing, I have to give Eric Spoelstra a lot of credit because it was a gutsy call to go ahead and put in Udonis Haslem, especially with the injury that he had. And, it was a nasty.
Udonis begged.
It was a nasty injury.
It was a nasty injury.
And like you said, he begged to come back and play because he did an amazing, like you said, did an amazing job. And with that said, you said about the 75 points that the Bulls had, scored, and they were at home. Yes, it was that defensive scheme that they pulled together, and that's how they got the job done and pulling out the Game 2 upset. It happened before, with Atlanta. They stole a win. Yeah. Indiana, I think also believe they stole a win too, and so it didn't matter for real who.
Those teams are not Miami.
That's true. So that is true, but it lets you know that they each stole a win from the number 1 seed in Chicago. So it did solidify that they each won Chicago won the series each time, but this is a different team, like you said with Miami.
It's a different team.
I still have a lot of faith in Chicago. It's just like we said, we're gonna keep saying it. It all depends on what goes down in that first half. First half, especially the first quarter. The first quarter is big, it's key, and
sets that tempo.
It sets that tone. Yeah. What is going to happen between not only Rose but for his other teammates as well? They have to come together, and I got to look for. I haven't seen Kyle Korver yet.
Well, Kyle Korver is not going to be able to score. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what you're trying to say.
He's not going to be able to score.
But there will be breakdowns in the Miami defense that you already know about. And when he gets that opportunity, he has to knock it down.
He's got to knock it down. And that's the whole point is they're going to have a tough time scoring because Miami plays great defense. And once they start getting out on that break and start pushing the ball, the transition defense for Chicago, they're going to have to be running up and down the court. And they just break you down. The wave, and I'm keep saying it, the wave of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade keep coming after you, is very it takes a toll on that defense throughout the whole game. And in the beginning, you don't notice it until you get to that third quarter, and you're like, oh God. They're still in the game. When are they going to go sit down? You have
to keep pushing because you already know you're going to be in a dogfight. Yeah. Because this is by far this series, and actually the series in the Western Conference has turned out.
Let's talk about that.
A great one. So that's what I'm saying.
So we both agree Miami's going to win the series against the Bulls.
No, I don't believe that at all. But we do know, folks.
Do I have to go to Miami to make sure?
I think that's the reason why they won Game 2.
Exactly. Do I have to go to Miami to make sure that the Miami Heat win this third game and Game 3?
If you want to push, I'm just saying these long breaks. Believe it or not, if the series was not set up the way that it was set up, thanks to Oprah, I don't think that Sunday game would be a Saturday. But I understand the Sunday the game it would have been tonight. Would have been Game 3. Yeah. But because you got one game on,
it's going to help Miami.
It's looking like
Udonis is loving it.
It could help Chicago too.
Udonis is loving it
because now they got, like you said, 4 days of rest. They get an opportunity to really dissect and look at what happened in Game 2 and look at Game 1 again to see what they can do in that game. To get those breaks and make that extra push to see if they can eke out a win in Miami because it's definitely key. Both sides are really going to be might have to make some minor adjustments, but if not, they're going to be clashing.
If Chicago wins, and we're going to move to the next series. But if Chicago wins, the only way they're going to win is how they won on game one. It's second chance points. That if they can dominate in that area, they're going to win. If Miami wins, it's when they're three: LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh all together are playing well. Are getting out on the break, pushing the ball, and if their offense has got some motion, they're going to be fine. So we both agree on that. So let's go to the Western Conference, another series
that surprises a lot of people.
Don't surprise me because you guys know what my pick is.
The reason why I say it's a surprising pick is that's true. That is true. One of my picks is still in it too. So game one. We need a chance to really discuss it, but of course, 48 points for Dirk Nowitzki. He's now claimed as Mr. 48, and now second game he missed a critical free throw and it cost him against Oklahoma City. I mean, if you look at it, are you all right, Patrick?
I need something to drink.
You need something to drink. I think that's from Dirk Nowitzki, right?
Okay, yeah.
But my team, the Mavericks, yes, they were. One person, Nowitzki may have choked, but the person that I really think that was key that really choked was Jason Terry. Terry did not come ready to play in game two. I know he was on a high from game one. JJ Barea really came out and really tried to make a punch at trying to get that knockout punch to go up 2-0, but wasn't enough. But Kevin Durant, oh my goodness,
love it.
Oh wow, Brandon Haywood just needs needs some pills or something, man.
That dunk was so sick. I love Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson commentating, and I was laughing really hard because after the dunk, he got pushed down by Haywood, and he stands up and he starts barking at Haywood, and Jeff Van Gundy said, hey, he's like, if you dunk on anybody the way he just dunked on him, you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. Right. I don't care if your mother's in the stands or not. You say whatever you want to say, and there should never be a tech there. And I love it, man. I think after that dunk just showed they just went on a run after that. That sparked their team, and I love Kevin Durant. The kid's young.
Only 23 years of age, 22 years of age.
He gets it.
This is ridiculous.
He gets it.
Youngest ever scoring champ.
Love
but the biggest story out of this game two
was
Russell Westbrook sat out the entire fourth quarter. Another gutsy call by another gutsy coach and Scott Brooks. I mean, that made I have to believe that Russell Westbrook got to be ferociously mad.
He's got to be flaming because. You look at it, All-Star, All-NBA, second team, All-NBA. I don't think I know of any other time that a All-NBA second player of his caliber being put on the bench in the playoffs on a crucial game.
Wow, right.
In the fourth quarter, the whole fourth quarter, your backup point guard runs the whole show. And Eric Maynard coming from VCU, I love what he did at VCU, and I love the way he was playing.
Knocked out Duke. I was so happy about that.
He did a great job in that game, and is a gutsy call by Scott Brooks. I don't necessarily agree with it, but he got the win. If he wouldn't have won that game, I'm telling you, his job's on the line.
Quote, Associated Press. This is from Russell Westbrook said after game two, I'm just sitting there waiting to get my name called. Yeah. So it was just mind blowing to see him on the bench in the shirt. Yeah. And I'm like, will he be put in the game at all? And me and my father, we were watching it. We were out. Shout out to my cousin Alexis. She had just graduated from high school. But we were sitting there watching the game at Applebee's, and we was like Westbrook never got in the game at all.
None.
He didn't even step out there. Maynard, James Harden, my goodness. Should have been one of the best candidate for Sixth Man of the Year.
That was my pick, as we all know.
Yeah, it was.
James Harden was my pick for Sixth Man. I think Lamar Odom won it just because he's in L.A.
You see where they are now,
He gets more pub because of the Lakers, but James Harden was my pick for Sixth Man. The guy is balling. I mean, just balling.
He was hustling.
I love it, man. I love it. I love
man
his
looks
game.
like Rick Ross. Like it's nobody's business.
I think it was some guy on ESPN said, "Fear the beard."
Not fear the fro.
I'm not big on players wearing a beard, hooping and somebody. But hey, he does it, man. He makes it work.
You gotta understand this kid came out of the Pac-10 and was Pac-10 Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. I believe it was at Arizona State. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But he was balling there. Mm-hmm. It was interesting when he got into the league what he was gonna be capable of, and he's done a tremendous job as 6 man. I mean, one day if he gets an opportunity to start, he's going to be a freak of nature.
Yeah, I think he's great for a 6 man. I think that's a type of player you want coming off your bench, like a Jamal Crawford, like a Lamar Odom, stuff like that, to make him a starter. I think he shines best when he's a 6 man. I don't think you need to put him in.
Kind of remind me of Ben Gordon from years ago when he was playing with Chicago. Yep. He was better played off the bench. Reason being is because he was a dynamic scorer and could get points on the board, and he wasn't because he was very small. He was 6'2", couldn't really defend the best shooting guards out there. So what Scott Skiles, when he used to coach the Bulls, he used to bring him out there and shooting the J, and that's what James Harden can do now. But the only difference is James Harden is 6'4", 220, 230 pounds. So he can
great game.
He can really get with the best of them.
He was balling. I love just everything that the Oklahoma City Thunder they do. They get after it. They have no fear in them. These guys are one of the youngest teams to ever get this far in NBA history, and they're going against the Dallas Mavericks. Dirk, you score 48, so we're going to come after you next game. It's not going to be easy playing against this team, and this is just the best. There's just going to be more years of this with Oklahoma City. I think that they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're very exciting. They're averaging over 100 points on the road against Dallas, and they're going to Oklahoma City. They got their win.
And one of the loudest crowds.
And they're going to be it's going to be a raucous crowd. Kevin Durant, now Westbrook's getting in the game, and he's going to be ready.
He better be.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. Now he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
He's ready to show up Scott Brooks to say, hey, you don't put me on the bench. I'm going to do what I do best, and that's dominating games.
Now the question will become, will that hurt the series or will that help?
I think it can help. I think it really can help. I think it pulls the Oklahoma City Thunder team together to say, hey, we can beat this team even without Westbrook on the road. So if there is a problem and the coach says, hey, Westbrook, you're sitting, this team knows they can still win. So it's up to Westbrook
to really
to get his game together.
Either tone it down attitude-wise, because we've all seen in these playoffs he has a tendency to shoot 25 to 30 times when he's not he's not that guy. And that goes to Kevin Durant. Right. Kevin Durant has shot much less than Russell Westbrook. So that lets you know right there, this is not Westbrook's team. It's Durant's team.
This is Kevin Durant's team. Yeah.
And they focused when they were putting the plans together, when they were in Seattle, it was Kevin Durant and everybody else.
Yep.
So they put their primary focus on Kevin Durant, and that's what it has to be. So if Westbrook, if you ever get a chance to look at this broadcast, I'm going to let you know right now, this is not your team. But you are the floor leader. Yeah. You're not the leader of this ball club. You're the floor leader. So what you have to do, distribute the ball. You have to shoot when you have the opportunity. Slash to the basket, make that extra pass. That's what you have to do. If you can give 18 points, 9 or 10 assists, you will be very reliable in getting a victory. So without question,
I think Westbrook, I feel sorry for him in a sense that he's got the ability to take over games.
That is true.
It's just he's young and he's not taking good shots. If he's taking better shots, I think we all wouldn't have a problem with him. But the problem is that he's going a little too fast and he's playing a little too fast and he's turning the ball over and then getting off bad shots. And I think that what he needs to do is he needs to play off of Kevin Durant, get Kevin Durant the ball, play off of him, and know when it's his time to do it. He has a hard time knowing when it's his time. He's going 110% every time he's on the court, and he has the ability to dominate games. He has that ability, but I think he's got to understand, I'm the point guard. The point guard, he's a scoring point guard, but he's got to understand that when Kevin Durant is on the court and Kevin Durant is scoring and he's hitting, he's got to facilitate to him. He's got to kind of facilitate to him and then be aggressive a little bit. But I think Westbrook, I feel sorry for him because he's getting